So yeah, we'll start again. So thanks, Will, for doing the podcast.
Dude, thanks for having me. I'll still say on the record, I'm glad this is in person. This is going to be a Zoom app.
I'm so nervous that it's in person because I haven't done in person before.
It's how it should be.
Or in a year. And yeah, it was almost an epic fail because I lost the keys to the camera cabinet.
Yeah.
Which I blamed on my kids, even though I actually just put the keys in my pocket while I was setting up.
Yeah. But you get to do that as a father. You get to blame your kids.
It's pretty much the only reason to have kids.
Basically, because you always will have an out. Like I would never, like you just say, yeah, my kids threw the key in the garbage. And I'd be like, yeah, that's fucking having
I
kids.
have the kid and wife out. So it's like a double out.
Perfect. That's great. Yeah. So many outs. You're just living your life to see how many outs you can get.
Well, I'm sorry that it was late. But I'm excited you're here.
Dude, we live so close.
We're Studio City bros.
I love it. I love Studio City so much. And when you told me you lived there, I kind of thought I feel like I knew you lived here, but I'm glad you do.
I think we talked about it briefly, but yeah, everyone, I hate talking about it because it's the best place in LA. And
absolutely.
I don't think everyone knows that. But you work for a really big podcast, right?
Yeah, really. I mean, define really big. It's not like,
I mean, it looks really big.
It looks big and we get good people. Yeah, the Lion's Den. I'm like the sidekick, get bullied sidekick / producer.
Yeah.
On that. And that's been great. That's been really fun.
I saw the set as it kind of was forming and watching on Instagram, and it looks really cool and really well done.
At first it was just bare walls, and then we're like a cult following. We don't get a lot of views or anything. I'm not going to sit here and be like, we're fucking huge.
Right.
In theory, we're huge, but we're this cult following where we have these diehard fans, and they send us so much shit, like so much art, like coffee mugs, fucking t-shirts, and we just have littered the walls with artwork of us, and it's sick. It's really cool. But we say we're like an indie cult podcast, right? Because we've done over 100 episodes now, because we were doing 3 a week during the pandemic. Whoa. We were doing 2 full and then 1 Patreon, and which means I was editing fucking 3 podcasts a week, which is bananas.
So you're the premiere guru?
At this point, oh yeah. Between that and TikTok and everything else, dude, I'm and I went to film school. So I already was could do it, but now Premiere, I'm just I'm fucking really good at all the basics, all the crazy shit I don't know, but everything I need to do, I'm
everything for
quick.
A pod, you're quick.
Very quick.
Captioning and do you make all the thumbnails and everything?
I used to. Now Jason's brother has taken control of it, which I'm great.
Thumbnails are so important now.
And that's why he took control, because I don't know what I'm doing. I've never preached. Here's the thing. I know when I went into the podcast, I know nothing about, I didn't act like I knew what I was doing. I kind of lied. And I know Jason and Brent very well, but I still kind of bullshitted my way into it.
You used to know them well. Now they fired you.
Exactly. Now they know this. Oh, but they know I'm they caught on to me. Brent was like, that's a fucking hustle, dude. I see you. You made a great move. Because I knew the video stuff, but the audio I had no clue.
Right.
And so I just had to learn on the job. And I had Dalia's producer help me. We emailed back and forth. And so he gave me a couple pieces of advice. But it was dude, in the first episode, and I guess I'm the second time bringing up Dalia. Is that a curse? Is that a bad thing to say on a podcast now?
No, I know how to beep it out.
Great. He was the point of why I bring him up is he was our first guest. And so we had huge views. First episode was bananas. And the only reason I bring that up is because the audio was terrible. So I got to sit and watch the YouTube comments be like, this is a cool podcast, but the audio's trash. Because I didn't know what I was doing. It was fine, but the levels were all fucked up. And I just literally had to learn how to do everything on the job.
Was it recorded poorly or just mixed down poorly?
I didn't know how to mix anything.
Okay.
I didn't know how to normalize the audio. So it's just these crazy highs. People would be like, Jesus Christ. And the lows are super low. And I still am not that good at it, but I know I'm way better than I was before. Because we didn't get the Zoom thing. Brent got all this really complicated mixer board and shit when we could have just gotten this.
Yeah.
So that kind of fucked us. But
this is the H6 is pretty much all you need.
I know.
And it sounds like it has really good converters. And I'm the opposite of you. I'm an audio guy, and I picked up the video stuff.
Oh, okay.
And so I was super skeptical. I'm like, this is not going to work. And it is amazing.
It's all you need. And with these mics, that's literally all you need.
Yeah, these are great mics.
Yeah.
The RE20s are also good mics. I think that's what Tim Dillon uses.
Okay.
And but these are the standards, and they look cool.
They look how they're supposed to.
Right.
People just look at Rogan's podcast. They're like, which ones does he use? And everyone just got the shirts.
Yeah, but they are used for that as well. They're not just, he's not like the only one who uses
No,
them.
everyone uses. That's like industry standard. So that's that's another name for this podcast. It could be industry standard.
I feel like that's taken.
It probably is actually.
Yeah, and these are actually good vocal mics. Like Bono uses this as a vocal mic.
Wow.
It's a good snare drum mic. You can put on a snare if you're doing drums.
Beautiful. You're all set.
I'm also, we start drumming.
Start a full band in here.
Yeah, I thought about doing, because that was like my background, recording bands and stuff like that.
Right, which I vaguely knew that.
Yeah.
But that's what's nice about doing the podcast. It's like, this is an excuse for us to like hang out and like and get to know each other on like a more than just like a 1 minute.
5 minutes after a show.
Exactly. Like that's what's, I like doing this. Just like, it's nice to fucking hang out.
I think that first show we did together was in Santa Clarita.
Maybe. Was that place the Main?
It was like a theater.
Yeah, that little theater.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I love that place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a few friends who like ran that show or whatever. Did we do it together?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, I think we were on the same night.
Wow. I like vaguely remember that.
Jason Collins, I think, was on it.
Oh, you were on that show too?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I made a real impact on you.
Clearly. Well, I knew you were, so you must have like, fuck, I thought it was somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, that's the first one I remember.
Okay. That's cool. Because we've seen each other a lot since then.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That's funny, yeah.
It's like, it's so many like these circles where like the edges touch.
I know.
And then the circles start to overlap more.
Yeah.
Or you're like, you know someone who knows someone, and then you all kind of slowly become friends.
I know. That's kind of how it works, which is, I like that about comedy. It's nice. It feels like high school.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind that. I like familiar. And we're the people who stay in it. I mean, you see a lot of people drop off, but it's the people who like.
I haven't seen anyone leave.
Like leave like the new leave, or leave like as in quit? Like leave as in Austin leave, or as in like quit?
Oh, I mean, Austin, I know of a few people, but that seems like semi-permanent always.
I guess, yeah. I
Like,
guess.
Well, there's the rich people who left,
Yeah.
and they could come do whatever they want.
And they'll just live on both. I've seen some people quit. I always feel like, this is a weird thought, but I feel like I'm the guy that people at the beginning, when they saw me, they were like, oh, he'll quit probably. I don't know why. I just have this feeling that like our people are like, oh, he's still in it and he's getting better. That's weird. Like, I don't know why. I just have this weird feeling that people are like, oh, he ain't gonna fucking, he's probably some actor kid who's like trying stand up or whatever.
Do you have an acting background?
Not really. I mean, I've done a lot of acting, but like not like in college and shit, but like not, I just have this weird feeling that's like, I don't feel like I fit like the comedy like stereotype almost, like this kind of, I don't know what it is. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll just say it for you. You're too good looking to be a comedian.
I don't even think that's it. I feel like in LA, I look like a fucking actor kid who's like trying stand up. And I feel like people would see me and be like, okay, he'll do it for like a year. And then
I don't
quit.
think it's your looks. I think it's because you have a lot of confidence and you have a lot of stage presence, which usually comes with acting. And you have a lot of things that take time to learn, like you're very dynamic. You go up, you go down, you're quiet, you're loud. Like, and for people who don't come from that background as much, it takes them a long time to do that.
Maybe that's why, yeah.
And I've done a few mics in New York, and you really see the difference out there because they're like, there's way less actors and less stage people.
Oh, sure.
And so they're the new comics are writing.
Yeah.
But the new comics like almost instantly have presence.
They're all doing act outs like day one.
They're all doing act outs.
That was me.
They're all telling great stories.
Yeah,
they're all captivating on stage.
Bombing, but captivating.
Yeah, bombing,
They're just
but like
loudly bombing.
Loudly bomb. I saw. Yeah, might have seen one yesterday, but like,
yeah, dude.
You're like, oh, okay, cool, and that's like a skill that like seems to accelerate faster in LA, or people kind of come equipped with that skill here.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
So maybe that's why you felt that way, because you were further ahead on that side of it.
I guess. Yeah. But I do like the people going, oh shit, like he's still fucking rocking. That's great. Like I'm like, yeah, motherfuckers. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm not one of those people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I like that for some reason.
Yeah, because you are doing really well. Your
thanks.
stuff is very good. It seems like you're putting together something for an hour on the road or something. Like
I always have. I mean, because I've done a half hour like a bunch of times. Like there's this show I'll headline in San Diego, at like and I've done like I'll headline shows in San Diego sometimes and do like a half hour. And so I've just been building that. What's that half hour? And now that like I kind of have what that is now, especially because I feature also here and there on the road. Like a couple weeks ago, I featured in Arizona and like, this 20, 25 minutes I'm like really happy with. So now I'm like, okay, cool. Now that I have that, let me build off of that. Let me now build the next 10 minutes. Let me build the next, like that's because I just want to get to the point of like, here's my 45 and like, I'm ready, which I'm sure once I have it and then I look back, I'll be like, that fucking sucked. But I just want to be able to be like, here's 45 that I'm like happy with, because I haven't had an opportunity to like do that long of a set before.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of these people, like I see, like my friend Jason Cheney, like he was doing colleges his like second year. So he's doing an hour his second year. And I look at him, he has all these different hours and different material. I'm like, how the fuck, man, I wish I had that. I don't have that much material. But he's like, but it's like a survival instinct. Like he had to get an hour. But I've never had to do an hour. I've had to do a 30 minutes. So I'm just looking forward to the opportunity to like to get more reps doing longer sets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know Matty Chimber, obviously.
Of course.
So when he did the hour at the Comedy Bunker,
I was there.
Oh, you were there. So like he told me, he's like, it made him push to make sure he had it. So like once you have something on the books, it's like, all right, now we're doing
Better
it.
get it together. And I want that's so important, I think.
Yeah.
Because especially in LA, because we don't have opportunities to do those type of sets.
Not really.
And unless you're headlining on the road, you're not going to get those opportunities either. So it's like once you get it, like fuck yeah.
Or if you're real, like I guess technically you could really divide your set and be like, today I'm doing the first 15.
Yep.
Tomorrow. But it never really happens that way. Like
no. And
that's like a different kind of discipline to. Because sometimes, like, you want to go to different bits because you feel like it's appropriate.
Or you got to do 5 minutes of crowd work and you're like, all right, I guess I'm just doing the first 10 now. You
Yeah.
know? Or that you have, but there's like no other way to do that unless you're past at like the Comedy Store or some shit. Like, oh, Tuesday night I can do this 15. Wednesday I can do this 15. Like, we don't have those opportunities. Like, we'll get an 8-minute spot on a show and you got to fucking rock it.
Yeah.
Because you have to prove yourself. Unless
true.
you are famous. Like, I can't go up on a lot of LA shows and like, let me try this new bit out. Like, no, I got to crush. People got to know I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, I'll do, like, maybe in San Diego, I'll try some new stuff because they know I'm good there. And there's not as many important eyeballs on you. But man, it's the balance of like trying new stuff and also proving yourself. It's like, that's a hard balance.
Yeah. It's kind of like the sandwich method of like when you got to tell someone bad news. It's like, hey, you're really great. But how about try it like this? Because everything you're doing is perfect.
Exactly.
And so you can work that middle, new bit into that middle section.
Exactly. But it's still hard, man. It's still like, LA's a beast. That's why it's important to get out of LA.
Out of LA. It is important, yeah. And I was kind of in a similar position where I was just before the pandemic getting like more feature spots. And then you have this longer chunk, and then that chunk starts to get better. But once you want to extend it longer than that, you really just need something on the books to make it longer. Otherwise, I felt myself just making the 20 better. Okay, I take out the weakest couple minutes of that and put in the new one.
Exactly.
And then take out the weakest couple minutes of that and put in the new one.
Both.
And then I was like, oh, well, I definitely have 40 because I've done the 20 so much and I have, and then you look at all the other stuff, you're like, okay, I have it, but it's not as good as the first 20.
No, that other 15 you threw away, you're like, oh, fuck.
There was a reason why it churned it out.
Yep. And I churn out stuff so fast. So I'm like, I don't even have all this fucking, I have like not that much that I love, which is like, that's a hard thing to do. I don't know, which I think is good because you should always be getting better. But it's also like, fuck, man, I wish I had like a full hour of shit. You know what I mean? I envy people who do. And like, I can bullshit my way through it probably, but you want it to be fucking good.
Right.
You know?
But like building the hour is, I can't remember who said it, but like building the hour is doing the hour.
Exactly.
So it's like chicken and the egg.
Yeah. It's like you can't even do it. What do you do in your bedroom? You're like, all right, that's an hour.
Do you believe in clipping, like putting stuff and doing captions and putting it on your page?
Fuck yeah, dude. TikTok's been the whole pandemic has been TikTok for me. I've leaned heavy into that and it's helped a lot. Got like 80,000 followers on there. And
really?
And that helps like my Instagram.
80,001. Follow you later. Yeah.
And that's been so good for me. Yeah. That's been fucking puts you in front of so many people. And I have all the skills for the captioning. So it's like, why not put in the work? Because it really fucking helps. Yeah. I like to think.
When you put something on your caption, TikTok, do you take it out of your act?
No. No. But what I've been doing lately is I only put crowd work on there. Because I got this nice camera and I film all my sets now and I just put up riffing stuff. I'm not ready to have my material, like my actual material, let's say that 30 or whatever. I don't really want to have that like out in the world at this point. There's some people that are like, fuck it, just put it out. Who cares? And I appreciate that mindset, but I'm like, until I really need to, I don't really want to because I have enough shit from crowd work that's like, and people like that better sometimes anyways. So I'm like, that's just basically all I put out right now.
Right. I'm in the same place where I put out a couple crowd work bits and caption them.
Yeah.
But even though a lot of our friends put up everything they do constantly and may or may not remove it from their acts, and it has helped them, for whatever reason, I'm still holding back like you from doing that.
Unless I need to. Like, I don't need to yet, really.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I still have shit I can put out. I'm backlogged. Like, I have shit coming up that I'll hopefully get a couple clips from. So I'm like, it's fine. I don't need to put out material yet.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like crowd work stuff goes crazy viral sometimes.
Yeah, it's a good way to. It's kind of like from a filmmaker perspective, you're watching two things happening, which is kind of more interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
And it takes way less time to get into it, and especially with do you put stuff on Reels as well?
Not yet. I'm going to put like this like 4-minute long crowd work thing up on Instagram, and I'm like, it's like
on the IGTV.
Yeah, because it's like, and I can't do Reels because it's really long, and I'm really proud of it, and it's like a big moment for me because I've never really put any of my stand up on Instagram because I have this whole thing about I don't want to be seen too early.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, and so, but now I'm like, this is something that I feel very comfortable sharing, and so that's like a moment. I'm like, I'm gonna put it out next week, and I'm like, oh fuck, because not a lot of people have seen a lot of my stand up, so I'm like, all right, on Instagram that is, you know what I mean. TikTok is like fuck it, but Instagram, that's where the real people follow you.
Right.
That's where the people you look up to follow you.
Less bots.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I wonder if like because there's the Reels 30 seconds that people are gonna be like, all right, I need a Reels bit, or like I need a Reels caption.
I know. I was thinking about that. I wonder if like on stage doing a weekend, you like do a funny thing. You're like, all right, that could be a TikTok later.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I hate that that's how we think now, but like, I mean, I don't know.
Well, because it's currency for this other ecosystem that matters now.
Yeah, and Reels too. Like you bring up fucking Matty Chimbor. I mean, he took over with Reels.
Yeah.
Like, it's possible. You know what I mean? Have you fucked with Reels at all?
A little bit. I put like a 30-second podcast clip on the Reels. And it's doing okay from a podcast page, but I don't know that podcasts are like the best thing for Reels necessarily.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. The podcast clips, it's like, who knows? I don't have a clue. I've done fucking 2 different podcasts, and I don't have a clue about what to make fucking go viral or whatever.
Yeah. What's the strategy you use as a producer for that show to promote it?
Dude, I don't have much of a strategy because I don't know a lot of the tricks and hacks, and this is why Jason has his brother take over, because he does more of the research. He has more time to commit, because like I don't have the time to commit. It's like I'm, doing stand up. I have a girlfriend. I want to put out this content.
I have a girlfriend.
You know what I mean? I don't have time to like do YouTube research I can only do so many fucking things. It's like and then I have to edit the podcast every week. So it's like, I can only do so much. So I'm glad that someone else is like jumping in to do all the nerd shit that like I just haven't committed my time to, because there's such hacky little things, and I'm just like, I don't know what they are.
I don't know if you're going to get props for putting girlfriend second or get in trouble for putting her second.
I don't I wasn't thinking of it in an order thing, but you did make me look bad. So I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate it.
I think it was pretty respectful.
It is what it is, man. It's been an interesting transition.
How long have you been together?
Like 7 months.
Okay.
And so we found each other during the pandemic, so romantic, during the pandemic. And then we had to have the transition of like into comedy, which has been like tricky. And I knew it was coming.
Oh, like, hey, this is not how my life normally is.
Oh yeah. I go from like doing nothing to like doing everything.
Yeah.
So it's such, and I knew it was coming, and I was dreading it. I was like, this is gonna be so difficult. I mean, we talked about it for a long time going into it. It's not like she's like, wait, you're out every night? What do you mean? And it's like, no, you knew it was, but it doesn't, until you're in it. Like, it's like, you gotta go where to do what? You gotta go there and not even do stand up? You gotta go there and just dick around?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like showing face.
Exactly.
And like,
it's like that whole dynamic of like, there's just a lot like.
Sometimes you got to go to a show and check it out and be like, oh yeah, this is cool. And then you see what's going on, and that's how you make the connections to get on it, possibly.
Exactly. I'm a big proponent of out of sight, out of mind. So I like to just be around a lot.
Yeah.
Like you can go to a mic, sure, but like there's a lot more to it than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. You want to be in the scene, and everything is relationships, and you get your things from other comedians.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's how that's how you get opportunities.
I know. So that's why I like to like just go show face, but it's just someone who's not in that world is like, she's still wrapping her head around it, which I totally get it. I'm like, yeah, you're right for feeling weird about X, Y, and Z. Because it's hard to have a girlfriend during comedy. It's to go all into comedy and also have a relationship. It's a tricky thing to do. We're doing well at it, but it's like, I've never faulted her for being like, what the fuck?
Is she a civilian?
Yes. She's a therapist.
Okay. Well, that's kind of good.
It's fucking perfect. What do you mean kind of good? It's exactly what I need. I'm a head case. I'm a nutcase.
Have you ever laid down?
Only when I'm fucking. No. No.
Edit number 2.
No, she's helped me with some shit. I was like really anxious about some stuff a couple weeks ago, and she had me like taught me like let's journal, let's do this, write out this, draw this, and I'm like, this is fucking perfect. Because I feel like a lot of girls, you know, at least, I mean, I haven't had a lot of girlfriends, but a lot of them are just like, all right, get over it. And they're like, what are you anxious? Who cares? But she's just like, okay, like here's some tips of how to make you feel better and stuff like that. So it's fucking beautiful.
Do them to me. So if I'm anxious.
Wait, the fucking part or the journaling part?
I mean, let's do one at a time. So journaling.
It was like, I think it was like write out all the things you're stressed about.
Okay, right? I do that all the time.
Yeah, it was that, and then it was like
this.
Draw. What if you do it?
Episode.
The fucking desktop, the goddamn chords, the
keep tapping
ticket.
the space bar.
Just not even looking.
My coffee game is less than yours.
Yeah. And it was like, then you gotta like draw what that looks like, draw what your anxiety feels like, write out something what's one thing that'll make you feel better. It's like an action item that'll make you feel better.
Okay.
And it was cool. It like helped. It was like, oh wow. Like, and then the week later, like I did the action. Like, it was just kind of like I loved that was the dynamic of who I'm with, that she can be like helpful and like real and just I don't know, man. I'm lucky to be with her. It's been great.
Do you think a therapist, like, I wonder if they have the tools 100% of the time, or if they kind of go off the rails and then later they evaluate, they're like, I shouldn't have done that.
I don't know. That's a good point. I don't know. I don't know if off the rails. That's pretty like tight. They have a pretty good system in place, and she's in grad school right now, and they have like a thing where they get together and like they like record a session and they review it and stuff. And you pick apart all the different little things. It's like we're recording our sets and like trying to pick apart everything. So I think it's pretty technical. But off the rails, probably they go off the rails at some point.
I mean, everyone's human, right?
Yeah.
So she probably goes into Starbucks and they give her soy milk or whatever, and she has a spaz and throws the thing over the counter, and then she sits down and journals
and evaluates.
Milk too hot to throw or something. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like
because we probably do that on without the tools.
Yeah.
Like, but it's more like I probably shouldn't have done that.
For sure. Yeah. Just because you're a therapist doesn't mean you have your shit together. You know, for sure. And not that she doesn't, but I think it's like, you know, therapists also probably need therapy. Everyone does, I think. I started going to therapy like myself, and it's been fucking great. Like, I'm such a proponent.
Therapist in The Sopranos go to therapy?
Yeah, I think she does. I was just thinking about The Sopranos, that whole dynamic. Yeah, I think she does.
Yeah.
Because they still have their own problems. Doesn't mean you can just fix all your shit. Dummies would probably think like, oh yeah, therapists, they probably got it all figured out. But
yeah,
probably need to still help.
It is interesting that you can get a lot out of it, even though they have their own problems.
Right. I know.
Because ideally, right, you want the therapist to be 100% right. But they're not going to be right. They're just going to be they're going to be objective, like a human, but with their own problems and mistakes. Yeah,
they're human. Like, they could tell you the thing that's wrong, maybe.
We need like an AI therapist.
Oh, can you imagine? Just write journal down here. Step 2, draw picture. Like,
yeah.
It could work. I don't know. But then you want that fucking connection and shit.
It'll probably go off the rails too. Because do you remember that chatbot they created? Microsoft created like the first AI.
Yeah, wasn't it like IBM or some shit like that?
Some big company, and they like released it into the world, and then like not very long after that, it started saying racist stuff.
No way.
And they had to turn it off.
Do you remember something that it said? I mean, I don't know if you can say it, but like,
I don't know. I just read the article about it.
That's so. The fucking engineers are like, God damn it! We didn't think it was gonna be. Everyone's racist now, just even robots.
Right.
That's so funny. I wish I could make a joke about it, but you can't say a racist thing, so I don't know how to fucking make a joke out of it.
I've tried to do an AI joke so many times, and it never works. Like, nobody cares about AI.
Fuck.
It's probably just my take on it, but
wow.
I'd love to have like, the closest I've had is like, there's going to be an AI comedian. And then at some point, they're going to surpass human comedians because AIs can write 24 hours a day.
True.
Which is 24 hours more than comedians write.
Yeah. That's funny.
So that's the only like kind of haha I've gotten.
That's funny though.
AI.
I like that because you never know. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. There's going to be a bot going on stage. They'll give him a mic and he'll be up there saying like, what's the deal with IBM or whatever.
And we're like, we don't know.
Yeah. It's out of business. It's Apple, stupid. Boo, you suck.
It starts doing racist stuff on stage. Robot canceled. This piece of shit.
Yeah. So it it is the future though. Like AI is going to take over and we'll be extinct.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to get some success first. You know, before we're opening for robots.
I mean, now we're in this weird place where people are getting paychecks, right?
What do you mean?
Like we're getting paychecks for unemployment that are pretty big.
Yeah, tell me about it.
And the whole like life dynamics being altered. Like I read an article about people like quitting their jobs and being like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to live my life and like using the money they saved over a vacation or whatever, or over a pandemic.
Yeah.
Because I spent like way less money.
Oh yeah. 100%.
We're not doing anything.
Exactly.
And then they're just like, I'm gonna go live my life. Like, why am I driving to an office to send emails?
It's so stupid.
AI must look at us and be like, these meatbags are driving to send emails.
It's fucking crazy. They're polluting the earth to drive and click a couple things.
Like email can be done from home.
It's the whole point.
Yeah.
But you can't pitching how email works. Email can be done from home.
Right.
Bunch of robots. He is right. He is right. He is right.
Yeah.
That's so true, man. I know. I'm taking this. It's such as horrible as the pandemic was, like we are in a time that's like, even just now, like once unemployment got extended until September, what a fucking beautiful time. So we now have from like March to like September, you're good unless you live in a fucking mansion. Like you're good. You're rentally paid. Most of your bills will probably be paid off that, assuming you're not assuming you're not making like $80 a month or whatever. The fact is that you have some money coming in. It's such a beautiful opportunity to like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want? Like, I'm taking that time. Like, how can I monetize something by the time September hits? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I feel exactly the same way because it's a unique time to invest in your art.
100%.
Where if you were making like, I mean, relatively speaking, if like that was your money from comedy only, you'd be high-fiving.
Oh yeah.
I would be.
Fuck yeah.
So it's like, so if you can replicate that throughout this time, any artist, it's like but there's a little bit of a catch because you kind of had to have had a job.
True. Yes, exactly.
So it's not like just this free money available to everyone.
Yeah.
So it's not universally applied.
I may be talking selfishly about me because I have the highest amount of unemployment. So that affords me even more time to commit to like, because I haven't had a job in a year, like the whole time. The whole time I've been off unemployment. Now I will have it until September. So I'm just like working my ass off to like be able to make money by the time that hits off of whatever it is, being TikTok, YouTube. I started doing like a stand-up vlog on there. It's like, let me just take this time to like create.
Yeah. This is interesting to me because this is exactly what I've been thinking about.
Yeah.
And like here's my prong. I don't want to get your feedback.
Please.
Let's talk about me some more.
I would love to.
So YouTube, this one doesn't seem to be attainable in terms of that window for me in terms of like actual money. Like I might get it to like $250 a month.
Sure. Yeah.
So that one seems like a low amount.
Absolutely. I agree. For anyone, not just you. I mean, like probably for me too.
For where I'm at on YouTube, which is my YouTube is, I think it's about 2,000 views a month.
That's
So
for the podcast?
I mean, my YouTube channel is just
Got it.
podcast.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah. And then Patreon, which I feel like I could grow to about 500 people, which would be decent.
It'd be amazing.
And
for
then,
just you, that's fucking great.
What do you mean just me?
Like if you're the only person involved in a 500 person Patreon.
Oh, like in terms of like spreading it around?
Yeah, like that's fucking great. 500 is amazing. Mm-hmm. Just for Latif, that's fucking awesome if you're able to pull that off.
Patreon. And then the other thing is album.
Oh, a comedy album?
Comedy albums. A lot. I have a unique benefit as a Canadian because we get Canadian airplay.
Oh, cool.
In Canada, and Sirius pays, pretty well for that.
Yeah.
So that would be some money. So that's my 3-pronged approach right now.
Yeah.
To kind of figure that out.
Yeah.
I'm interested to talk to you about your approach, but before I get to that, are you involved with the Patreon for the podcast you work for?
For the Lion's Den, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are some good strategies to promote the Patreon? Because what I'm running into is it's a lot of content to create for not many subscribers at the beginning.
For sure.
Is that the wrong way to think about it?
I think yes. I think you got to just do it. I think in the more enticing the content, the better. Like the exclusive, like only on Patreon, like here's where the wild shit lives or something like that. Only things they can see, like things that they want to see, but they can't until they go through the paywall.
Right.
That's the thing. Like we have 3 levels. First level is you get a vlog a weekly vlog, which has been really hard in the pandemic. We've missed a few of them just because there's nothing fucking going on. So what are you going to vlog?
What is the vlog?
Exactly. It can be anything, but we just film random things. But sometimes
Okay.
we just have, I mean, we all had COVID at one point. Like we just have been through a lot of shit during the last year. Too much info. Shut up, Will. And the middle one is like a bonus episode. So we'll put out like another, 15, 20 minute long episode. And we usually get wild on there.
Okay.
Unquote, like just a little crazier and funnier. And then,
Like you say things you wouldn't normally say?
kind of,
or
yeah. We just talk a lot of just like dirtier
you're
shit.
shirtless or?
Yeah, they fucking wish I wasn't.
That's a good idea.
And then the last level is like you get all that shit plus like free tickets to shows.
Okay.
For
yeah.
them, it'll be like you and +1 if you get the highest. You're a producer, so your name is in the credits, which people like.
Yeah.
And then you get you and +1 free tickets.
That's mine right now
Brent
too.
and
It's
Jason.
producer credit
Yeah.
and you get 2 tickets. Yeah.
Which is good. And I think if I'm going to do one for my YouTube, like my vlog, like which I'm really happy and proud of, I'm going to do a Patreon for that. That'll include like a hangout with people, like a Zoom hangout with people and shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
That's
'cause
smart.
That's worth it, I think.
Do you think the
that
extra
type of thing.
episode is worth it in this environment where there's so many extra episodes?
I think if you're a real fan, yes. Because people are obsessed with our podcast. There's a few people that are just like diehard. Like it'll be up late and they'll be like, where's the goddamn episode?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say it's worth it.
And is the engagement high in Patreon? Like, are they commenting in Patreon?
Sometimes. Yeah. We don't have a ton. I mean, we make decent money off Patreon,
Yeah.
but it's the amount of people that actually watch it, it's like kind of low. Like people are subscribing and like not even watching this shit. Some people I think are just supporting
That's what I was finding.
the thing, which is, I mean, awesome. Who cares if they
Yeah.
watch it? You know what I mean? As long as they're supporting the cause.
That's how exactly the place I was in. I was putting it out. I didn't feel like people were watching it, but they were still subscribing. And
Thanks for the money.
but it's also like it's weird to create this stuff that goes into a paywall ether.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it also feels kind of icky a little bit to be like, pay me so you can see my life. Like it also feels kind of weird, but
Yeah. I don't like the concept of it at all, personally.
but it's what we got to do. Especially now's the time to fucking do it. Like this is a reminder to me to like
Yeah.
set that shit up soon because it's so worth it. I'll do what
Right.
I have to do. Like now's the time to be like, oh, now I make X amount from Patreon and my own Patreon. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
now's the time to figure that shit out.
When you switch to doing having the other person do the thumbnails, like the more
Yeah. Which is very like last week that happened. It's very, very
okay.
recent.
So you guys haven't really A/B'd and seen the difference yet?
Okay,
Okay,
not really.
interesting.
I mean, the thumbnails are beautiful. I've never been happier to be demoted in my entire life. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I'm like kind of skeptical about all that stuff just because we've tried a couple of those little tricky things and it hasn't really done anything.
Well, like click here to see Elon Musk react kind of stuff.
Yeah. That the reaction stuff we actually did pretty well, but then the copyright takes it down. Like we did reaction videos for a while, but then you get fucked with copyright, and we haven't figured out a way around it. It's really tricky.
What copyright for what?
Like a music video. If we do like a music video reaction, which we had like those guys, we did like a WAP reaction, and that got like 200,000 views on our clip channel.
Okay.
But then it got taken down.
Is it because can it live on there and not be monetized?
Oh, it wasn't monetized at all.
It still had to come down.
Yep. They blocked it. It had to come down like legit. We don't monetize really anything on that.
Interesting.
But yeah.
Because sometimes you can use the copyright as long as you don't monetize it.
Yeah, we weren't even monetizing it.
Interesting.
Just blocked it. They were like, fuck you.
Maybe some artists are like, you're not allowed to ever do that.
But then how do these kids make so much money on reaction videos? Reaction videos are huge. That's why we're doing it. But people aren't getting like their videos taken down. And we can't figure out a way around it. Like we've tried. There's ways. I mean, there's hacky ways where you can be like, you put up a video and then here's a link to watch it on Vimeo or something.
Yeah.
But it's like, you got to have it on YouTube though, you know?
That's where you need the view count.
Exactly. So it's just a weird world that like, I don't really like a lot of the stuff I don't really want to be a part of. Like, not like, I don't want to be part of that, but it's like, I don't even like, well, I want to focus my energy like elsewhere. Cause that's such a beast. YouTube is such a beast.
Yeah.
And I don't know it. I can't figure it out.
Yeah. Does it happen by itself or does it?
Oh, put in the description the word react and that video will get more views. And it's like, how?
I don't know if that's really the case. I think it's just like if people like it.
Yeah, that's how.
Do you think Tim Dillon, like other than the fact that people like his podcast, you don't see a lot of like clickbaity stuff on his stuff. It's just like the episode. It's like one camera. It's not
very
a lot
simple. That's a great example.
Very simple.
No editing.
No editing.
Dude, that's like a fucking wet dream for me watching his podcast. There's
Yeah.
no editing. You just fucking sync up the audio and then you're done.
I love the guy just laughing.
It's great. dude, I watched that. I was like, this is a beauty. Like, you don't even need all the bullshit.
Yeah.
His is so successful with no editing. I'm like, ugh. I'm like doing multicam editing and shit. I'm like, what?
Right now we got 3 cams here.
Yeah, you're crushed, which looks amazing. But it's like, I guess fucking, I don't know, man. It's like, who knows? I think at the end of the day, it's just good content.
Yeah.
You know? But also he was like probably on Rogan and like that helped his stuff. So it's like, there's so much that goes into it.
Right.
know?
But the defining factor seems to be true fans.
Yep.
Not necessarily, because we're not doing like clickbait product reviews. Like, we're not in the game to create views. We're in the game to do comedy. And the platform is making us do these things.
Yep.
But you can also be bigger than the platform, which is the goal. Like the best podcasters are bigger than the platform and no longer need to clickbait.
This isn't, they have enough money. They don't even, exactly. They have enough views. They have enough audience. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the goal. But man, and there's like so many goddamn podcasts. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah. But I think like this was told to me, it was like, hey, everyone's going to tell you there's too many podcasts and don't ignore them and just do it.
Yeah.
And I waited a year before I did it.
Yeah.
And that I lost a year.
Yeah,
basically.
I know. It takes so goddamn long because we even look at podcasts they're successful and they've been going for so long. Like Your Mom's House is probably my favorite podcast. I'm like a diehard fan of that show.
Yeah.
And they've been doing it for like 8-9 years. So it's like, that makes sense.
Right.
'Cause they fucking put in the work for so long.
And they're part of the OG squad that really popped off in
Yeah.
terms of comedy podcasts.
Yeah, it just takes a long time, but people don't want to be patient, and ride through it, I mean, it helps if you're already a little bit known.
Yeah.
It's like when Bobby Lee started a podcast. It's not like, who's Bobby Lee?
Right.
You're like, oh, well, I know who he is. So it's nice to have that.
It's nice to have the rep going into it, but you can also build the rep because of it.
Yeah, look at the dudes at like Come Town. That podcast, they don't even do video.
Yeah.
It's like, so if that's the case, like, what the fuck are we doing? How did that happen?
Right. Well, their timing is good. It's a good name.
They did it. I just, that is like, I can't, like that, what an exception. Like they, like, oh, if they can do it, that's kind of hope for everyone else. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking amazing.
Isn't that a lot of life now? You look at stuff, well, if they do it, I can do that.
Yeah. If robots can do stand-up, I should be able to do stand-up.
Yeah. But maybe like maybe we're thinking about it wrong. The way that everyone thinks they can do stand-up. Maybe we're just thinking everyone can do YouTube or everyone can do.
Not everyone can make it on that shit. You can try.
It is depressing when like a simple review of like the new iPhone video is like bigger than any podcast video.
Oh my God, fucking unboxing. Kids unboxing a toy will get more views than I'll ever get in my entire life. And I'm like, what am I even doing?
Yeah.
What the fuck am I doing?
But I think that's a good point, that's not the reason. Like, we're not in it to do that.
No, it's just supplemental shit. Just because we're doing it because we feel like we should do it. We're supposed to do it.
Yeah, and we've been tilted towards it. That at the end of the day, hopefully it can all circle back to like our live gigs.
I know. That's the whole point.
What's one thing you invested in your career that like really paid off? You're like, I'm going to take the time to do this one thing, and it was the right choice for you.
Can you give me an example of something?
Like, it doesn't need to be monetary. It can be like, I buckled down, I put up the $1,000 to buy the podcasting equipment, and that was it. Or I decided to like join this podcast as a producer, and I learned all these skills.
Yeah. That's a good question. The main thing that comes to mind is I invested in a really nice camera to film shows.
Yeah, you were saying that one. What camera is it?
Like a Panasonic G7. Yeah, and so with like a zoom lens, like a really nice lens.
So that's like a DSLR.
DSLR, and you can hack it. Which Rick Glassman told me how to hack it over the phone when we was helping with Lions Den, how to hack it to there's no recording limit.
Oh.
So we could do like 2.5 hours. Because we used to do the same thing for Lions Den.
That's why I got camcorders, because I was like, I didn't want to deal with the limit.
Which that's probably a good move too. But we use those on Lions Den, so I know how to use them. So I just got the same camera and did the same thing and got a nice zoom lens so it can be far back and you can zoom in still. It can be like behind the crowd and zoom in. So
and it looks good?
Oh, it looks great. I'll show you after what it looks like.
Wow.
And that was like a pretty new investment, but like, I mean, the footage is like, I mean, I started because I had this idea for the stand-up vlog, which is basically just like, what's it like when you're a comedian that's not famous and no one knows? Every person's vlog is like Andrew Schultz, Burt Kreischer. Look how successful we are. We're the shit. But like, what about when you're a comedian that no one knows? What's that life? What's the journey? What does your day-to-day look like? When you go to a show, what's it like? And I put in stand-up footage in the vlog. So I go like before the show, footage and then after the show, stuff like
So
that.
you're like walking up to a show. You're like, "Hey, guys, I'm about to do this show." Oh fuck, this guy's walking up.
Hold on. Exactly. In a less douchey way. Yes, it's very embarrassing sometimes. Okay. But the footage of, and I started using the first one I did months ago, like a trial run. I did it in San Diego and used my phone for the stand-up footage, and it looked so fucking bad, all grainy and zoomed in. I'm like, I can't put this out. So like, let me just shut up, stop being so like fucking Jewy about it. I'm Jewish, I can say that. And I was like, just buy a fucking camera. And I bought a nice camera. And I'm like, it makes the world of difference.
Yeah, I have so many great club shows on the road that are recorded with my camera. I'm like, well, this is just for me because it looks grainy and
exactly.
I mean, with like, my phone.
Yeah, you can't put it in. You just can't. There's no reason to do that.
The
you know
camera you have, you could be behind the audience, behind the lights, and it still looks good.
And you zoom the fuck in, and then even in Premiere, you zoom in it even farther. You frame it all up.
Still looks good.
It's fantastic. Oh. You gotta get a shotgun mic to put on top of it, which that mine like fucking like broke. So like one of the shows that was like a sold out show I did, I fucking like watched the footage back and it was like like the whole time. I'm like, fuck. So I'm still figuring it out, but like, dude, it's like that's been such a good investment because now I have like my shit looks good, not just for like because I put all that stuff on TikTok also. So like look at fucking Blaustein's clips. He uses a good camera, and I was like, great. Let me just do that. It's so easy. Pandemic money, boom, camera, offer up, even cheaper. Forget it.
I'm in. You sold me.
So that's been. You already have one, motherfucker. You got like 18 cameras.
But these are like, will they work?
You tell me. They should work. Of course they'll probably.
They work at I use them also for like the shows. But I've never brought them to like a club.
At like the Bunker.
Yeah.
Has footage I've seen from the Bunker been using these cameras?
Yeah, all the Maddie stuff.
Bro, done.
This is fine.
Done.
Okay.
Forget it. It may help you if you. It depends how much they can zoom in, but you can figure it out. You're a smart guy. You'll be able to frame it up so it's good. And even if you're far back, you know, and you can be able to zoom in with it in Premiere and shit. There's
next time we're on a show together, we're gonna do double cam test.
Yeah.
A/B. I want to see the diff.
Totally. And what I started doing also is that for crowd work stuff is I showed my girlfriend a clip and she didn't really laugh that much. And I was like, why didn't you laugh? Like I was curious of
because she's your girlfriend.
Probably. And she was like, it wasn't very funny. I was like, oh, that's it? No, she said, I couldn't like, I wanted to see who you were talking about. And I was like, that's a good point. Because I've seen like, I think Andrew Schultz is a great person to look at for all these types of things. I mean,
he changed the game and basically invented the model.
He's a great person to look up to, I think. And he has a camera facing the audience.
Right.
And I'm like, fuck, that's awesome. But like, I am not about to be the guy who's fucking setting up like I'm in film school, doing a student film, shooting like I'm doing like I'm hosting at a club and I'm like setting up 4 cameras. I'm like, there's no fucking way. So what I did this last weekend in Arizona, sorry, I'm breaking your fucking set, is I did a bunch of shit. I knew that I was going to use the crowd work that I did. So when Jason Collins was on stage, I was off to the side and I with my phone, I shot the guy who I was talking about and I zoomed in so you can see what he looks like for later.
And so, but you had already gone and done your set.
I already did it all. So it's after I was like, oh, I talked about this guy. I'm going to film this guy so I can punch it in and people will know who I'm talking about. And I feel like it makes a world of difference. Of
course it does.
Like one guy, I put out a clip about a guy who he was sitting in a chair and he had his motorcycle helmet on the chair. And I was like, what do you want, a date with your motorcycle helmet? Something to the effect of that. Yeah. And so I afterward I do a little video of him. You go over to his motorcycle helmet.
You run to the Ducati store and you just take a photo.
Exactly. This is what it looks like. But to me, that shit makes so much of a difference. And not a lot of people like think about that. So.
I love that you just ripped on this guy. And then you go and you're peeking behind the curtain to like spy on him, dude. That is amazing.
So I don't know, just stuff like that. I forget how we started talking about this, but there's just so many interesting things you can do with clipping. Yeah. Like that's such a good investment to me because everything's online now. I guess you could do
I mean, you could maybe put your camera on the stool.
Yep, that too. But dude, I just don't. It's too much shit going on. Like even filming your set with a camera, I already don't like doing that. Because I want to be just a comedian. I want to go, I want to show up, I want to do my set and be done. I hate having to walk around with a tripod and a camera. When people just saw me go up and now I got to walk by them with my tripod and camera, I feel like a fucking dork.
Yeah.
So like, I don't want to get more shit.
But you feel like more of a dork missing the opportunity.
I agree.
It's like, do you want to not look, everyone wants to look cool and be like, I'm too cool to film. Mm-hmm. But every time you do that, you regret it.
Yep. Exactly.
You should just grab your phone off the stool.
Just real quick.
Open up the thing.
Just film the guy.
The guy.
Sorry, man, this is my vlog later.
What's her name? Can you give me a release right now? You like open up the DocuSign?
DocuSign, yeah. Have him fucking do the thing. Club owner's like, this dude's fucking crazy. What is he doing?
He's a beast.
God.
At the Comedy Bunker, I take the same 3 cameras from here.
Yeah.
I do one tight, one wide, and then one facing the audience.
Smart.
But it's there before people get there, so it's not like
Exactly, and it's your place, and
I don't have to feel weird about it.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I have this weird thing where this is so weird, but I like not seeing people before I go up. Like if it's at a club, like I don't like people seeing me before I go up.
No, that's a total showbiz 101.
I just think it's fun to have the reveal. Who's this guy? I don't want to be like, oh, you saw that guy fucking around with his tripod earlier. Like I like just being like, ooh, the guy. But you kind of have to just.
The good thing about that is people don't notice. Like,
oh, none of these people are thinking about any of this, dude.
No.
This is all in my head. I already know that.
When a show's happening, no one pays attention to like the help. And they won't even notice unless you bring it up and be like, "Hey, do you remember me setting up the camera?" They'll be like, "What?
What? I was ordering my chicken tenders. I'm not gonna fucking pay."
Unless like you're the door guy, because some people do the door and then do a set, then go back or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, maybe say it.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know, man. The whole thing, it's like, Blaustein's such a good example because he's got such a huge following on TikTok and stuff. And like, honestly, I think that lane of YouTube, TikTok, that I think is gonna make more people's careers than like booking a fucking TV show or a late night set. Like, I think it's all online. I think you can build a whole career off of that. I mean, Schultz obviously, but he already kind of was a headliner before that. But I just think that's the future, and so I'm investing all of my time into like that lane.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And then while not burning that much material yet.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It's kind of like you're ticking 2 different boxes. One is like I'm building fans through clipping,
right?
And the other one is I'm building some sort of legitimacy by saying I was on Conan or I was on the Tonight Show. They're kind of like independent things that can exist together. I mean, if you have both, that's the ultimate.
Of course, yeah. But I think the game is changing. Like I think we're in the middle of like it's going to be a lot different. I think going forward, and I think with the comics have way more control. I think now
because the comics have the audience.
Yeah, we have an audience. Like we can build our own audience using online, and people who aren't doing that, it's like, what are you planning on doing? What's your next thing? Are you just gonna just continue to do stand up and then hopefully you'll get a thing that'll help you? Why don't you just fucking on your way there put out a bunch of shit as you're getting better at stand up? Because you're still doing stand up. It's not like you're neglecting stand up. You're doing more stand up if anything. Because I'm like, I want more shit to put out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like you should be doing that, I think.
And there's an element of like when you're taking the time to edit yourself. You're like, oh, look at I moved my hand kind of weird on that one. Oh, yeah,
there's a lot of that.
So there's a lot of like, even if you're not getting the fans or the likes or the views from the video, you're watching yourself, which is important.
It's only good. And good quality, too. People don't want to watch dog shit quality. You know what I mean? I put out one clip that's like, the quality is like 75% because I fucked up the lighting. And it got the worst views out of anything.
Really?
Yep. People want to watch things that are good. I mean, dude, if you watch a fucking movie that's in like not HD, you're like, ugh. I'll turn off the movie.
Regular
just D. If it's D, I will straight up watch a different movie.
Yeah.
Because I can't. It's like I don't like we're so spoiled with HD. It's like, so people put out, dude. I'm so passionate about this. People fucking put these clips on Instagram that are so bad looking. They look shitty. They're so far away you can barely see you. It's like, what do you?
But it's like sometimes it's all you have.
It's all you have, and I totally respect that. But I just see some comedians' clips that they put up. I'm like, dude, this looks so bad. You can't even tell it's you. It's like, what are you doing, man? I don't know. Maybe I'm
like, it's me.
Yeah, this could be anyone. Yeah, maybe I'm being an asshole, but it's like
maybe it's AI.
Maybe it's AI. Exactly. But I just think it's like, dude, just invest in yourself, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna do it, man.
Invest in yourself.
I think.
What's one thing you invested in that didn't pay off? You're like, I'm going to do this one thing. And you're like, you know what? I'm just going to change course. That's not my lane.
I'm like reluctant to say this. Fuck. I'll tell you the thing after because I don't want to put it on here. But one thing is I would
Patreon.
Exactly. I'll happily do it for Patreon. But I would go to San Diego too much. I would go there way too much. I would for a little while. I went like once a week for shows, And and not just San Diego, but like other places like Orange County, Long Beach, and because I was just obsessed with doing shows, and I stopped doing mics because I would get like 30 shows a month, but like
That's insane.
which is awesome. And that was like last year, 2000. Yeah, it was like last year before the pandemic. It was like great.
Yeah.
But I stopped doing mics because I was like, I don't need to anymore. I got shows. We're good. But no one in LA like knew who I was.
Yeah.
Because I was always gone doing shows. I was in San Francisco where I grew up. I would get spots out there. I would go here. And it's like, I opened for Bobby Lee and people are like, who the fuck is Will Burkart?
Yeah.
All the other comics that opened for him are like, who? And I was like, removed from the scene. And because I was like, I don't want to do these shitty mics. But
Right.
dude, I like started doing them again before the pandemic. And I was like, I'm so glad I'm doing this because I'm like re-establishing myself as an LA comic and people know me and they now know I'm funny and I'm not just like, who the fuck is that guy? So
Right.
that's and especially now, like I feel like I'm happier doing mics now more than ever, just because like we're meeting, it's like we're reconnecting and just you're seeing all these new people and getting shows from that, and comics have the power, and like so that's a really long-winded way to say like I stopped doing mics.
Yeah. And there's these new mics that are kind of like, they're almost hybrid mics because there's like a lot of comedians, but there's a couple real people. And you're like, okay, that's enough to like try
Dude,
this
give me two
new
people.
stuff.
Give me two real people. I'm so happy.
I like that we did one recently and like the one guy walked the two real people right before your set.
Was that the park?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. God damn it. I know. I'm like, fuck.
Well, Will, this has been great. I really appreciate
This has been
you
so
coming,
fun, man.
talking about the insides of being a producer, comedian.
Yeah.
I just came back from San Diego, so I won't go for another 3 years.
Where'd you go?
And I went to the zoo, so I didn't do any comedy.
Oh, damn.
But I love doing comedy in San Diego.
That's so fun, man. Oh my God.
It's like the Midwest in California.
What makes you say that? I'm curious of what the reason is.
Because it's like, here it's like you're doing comedy for other people who are usually in the industry kind of being like, I could do that. Or like, I'm on camera too.
Yeah,
Down there, it's
yeah.
just more regular people.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
And they dress up more when they go out.
Yeah, it's great. I love, dude, San Diego's perfect. I love
Yeah.
that whole scene. It's so fun to me.
And it's so close.
I know. It's so close. And there's so many good shows.
Yeah. Well, tell people your socials, where to find you.
Yeah, just at Will Burkart, Burkart.
Yeah.
And then, I just check out the vlog I'm doing. I'm really proud of it and I'm really excited about it. So it's all my bio links everywhere. It's there. I make it really easy to find. So I'm really, that's what I want people to go watch.
And it's on YouTube?
Oh yeah.
How can I give you a suggestion?
Please.
That you can totally ignore and tell me I'm wrong? Can you call it your YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Say, check out my YouTube channel,
Yes.
not my vlog. No one knows what a vlog is.
True.
People don't vlog anymore.
True. Go to my YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Is that better?
it is better. I got confused.
Great. That's good to know. I'm still new at it.
Yeah.
It's good. YouTube channel. Please.
YouTube channel, follow him. He's super funny. And we're going to go on the Patreon now, and he's going to tell me the real deal story
I shouldn't have said
of
that.
how something didn't work out. So if you want to learn what not to do, it's $5 a month. The best $5 you'll ever spend. Solo episodes with me. Free tickets to shows. Shows are back. You get free tickets to the Comedy Bunker. Free tickets to my new weekly show at wherever it is in Burbank, the Nightlife. Is that what it's called? Hopefully. And thanks again. We'll see you later.
Thanks, man.